politics. For the first time since 1968, a sitting president has decided not to seek re-election. With the announcement yesterday, Joe Biden has officially dropped out of the presidential race and endorsed his vice president, Kamala Harris, which now puts us all in very uncharted territory because with his endorsement, Kamala Harris becomes just the second woman to get she will end up eventually being the Democratic nominee if the donors do not stop or derail it. She also becomes the first Black woman and the first woman of Indian descent to achieve such an honor. And Donald Trump is scrambling. This was something that the Trump administration, or not Trump administration, but this is something that the Trump campaign had feared, according to The Atlantic. This was the thing that they were afraid of. Because now they have to gear their election process against that they had completely set up for Joe Biden. They now have to pivot and try to change it for Kamala Harris. But how did we get here, ladies and gentlemen? How did we get to this unprecedented time in American politics? Well, let's start with the fact that, and this is an opinion of mine, and it is shared by many people, the mainstream media, once again, has failed us. The mainstream media, in their incessant need to talk about Joe Biden's disastrous debate against Donald Trump, his age, even though they never once mentioned Donald Trump's age, they pressed it for weeks. Because the debate was, 2 weeks ago? 3? About 3 weeks ago. And they pressed it, and they continued to press it. They continued to press it. They continued to press it. They would not let up. And because of this, people within the Democratic apparatus started to become very nervous, which is one of the problems that the Democratic Party has. They tend to be very scared booty meat when it comes to things like this. And the pressure became Joe Biden must drop out. Joe Biden must drop out. Joe Biden must drop out. And this went on even after Donald Trump had a glass-a-nation attempt. I said what I said. I am not taking that back. But even in that, the calls for Joe Biden to step down were loud and obnoxious. And finally, yesterday afternoon, Joe Biden did what Lyndon B. Johnson did in 1968. And he officially said that he would not seek his party's nomination and he would not seek re-election to the office of President of the United States. But then he full-throatedly put his endorsement behind his vice president, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris would also, if elected, be the very first Gen X president. The generation everybody was making fun of, the generation that, the apathetic generation that I belong to, my wife belongs to, my siblings, my younger siblings belong to. We now have a chance to have a Gen X president. So now the Trump campaign is now trying to pivot. And in the hours after the announcement that Joe Biden was not going to seek re-election and he endorsed Kamala Harris, just in small dollar donations, Kamala Harris raised some $25.3 million in small dollar donations through Act Blue. Now, on this show, I have said over and over that I do not support either political party. I have made that abundantly clear. I have said on more than one occasion that I am not voting for Joe Biden or against Donald Trump. I am voting against Project 2025. The announcement yesterday changes absolutely nothing as far as I'm concerned. Project 2025 still looms large behind the Republican nominee. Project 2025 has its hooks deeply within the Republican Party because the Heritage Foundation, along with the Federalist Society, along with ALEC, are huge Republican supporters. So the game, to me, did not change. The opponent is still the same. That is Project 2025. But now, America has to reconcile the end of one of the longest political careers and the emergence of a new face of the Democratic Party. Because unless she is derailed by party bigwigs, by the donor class, and delegates herself, Kamala Harris is your Democratic presidential nominee. She will be picking her vice presidential nominee. The convention will happen, and if pushed, she will become the Democratic nominee, becoming only the second woman to receive such honor behind Hillary Clinton. But therein lies the problem. Therein lies the problem. The party bigwigs have not spoken. The donor class is speaking too loudly, and we do not know what the delegates are going to do. Will the delegates get behind Kamala Harris? Is this something that will actually happen? This morning, the show is brought to you by Glitterwix. Go to glitterwix.com and check out Villainous, the beautifully scented candle inspired by yours truly, Thomas the Villain Bishop. Glitterwix.com. This morning I'm drinking on some Starbucks French Roast Dark. Eventually I will try to convince my wife to let me drink some light coffee. I don't know if it's going to happen, though. I don't know if it's going to happen. She likes dark coffee. Don't know. But yes, that is how the political winds have shifted. When I spoke to you last Friday, the matchup had been set. Donald Trump had been given the Republican nomination, where in his acceptance speech he said that 107% of the jobs in America are being stolen by illegal immigrants. Why is nobody talking about Donald Trump's cognitive decline? So we already know what the Democrats are going to do. We already know that the mainstream media helped them to do this. The mainstream media is poised to, it looks like they are poised to do exactly with Donald Trump what they did in 2016, which is give him billions of dollars in free advertisement. Because this is their chosen nominee. Donald Trump is the guy they want. I don't know why, but it's true. This is the guy that they want. So it looks like they are poised to make the same mistake in 2024 that they did 8 years ago in 2016, which is give that man hours upon hours upon hours of free advertisement. And I'm going to be disappointed if they do so, because have they not learned the lessons of 2016? Donald Trump was not trying to win the presidency in 2016. It was a fluke that he did that. A fluke, you understand. A fluke. The man did not want to win. He simply wanted to get the clout and notoriety as a former presidential candidate to launch Trump TV. That was the plan. And this has been confirmed by several people within his first campaign. But it seems like the mainstream media is poised to do exactly the same thing they did in 2016. It is the mainstream media that led to the eventual dropping out of Joe Biden. I need people to understand this. I need people to not forget this. Mainstream media is not left-leaning. It is corporate-driven. And the corporate overlords are seeing all the incredible, delicious tax cuts that can be had with a Trump presidency, and they're going to do again what they did 8 years ago. They're going to do it again. They are going to give Donald Trump massive amounts of free advertisement. Please understand this going in. In addition, Project 2025 is almost assuredly going to give them even more tax cuts, in addition to the ones that Trump is already salivating about, which means these corporate overlords are so incredibly rigid, waiting for a second Trump presidency. But on the other end of this, we have Kamala Harris. Now, she does have some downsides. Please do not misunderstand me of this. Kamala Harris was a former prosecutor. Okay? So that is something that, regardless of whether or not you completely agree with her, her past is sitting right there. Kamala Harris has been very transparent about this. Now, as a former prosecutor in California, she did on several occasions lock up a lot of African Americans. This is going to make it tough for African Americans to support her. However, Kamala Harris has also recognized that the judicial system in America has been skewered and is completely one-sided when it comes to the interpretation and meting out of justice in the said justice system. So she understands this. This is not a shock, ladies and gentlemen, okay? We knew this about Kamala Harris going in. We knew that she was a former prosecutor. We understood that. So this was not, oh, wow, this is news. This is new news. However, it is there. Also, Kamala Harris is a huge supporter of what is going on in Israel. Another reason a lot of people are not going to want to support her. However, she, with her being a prosecutor, she also believes in the rule of law, which is a good thing considering the fact of what's going on in the ICJ. There are a bunch of reasons to dislike Kamala Harris, but there's almost double that on why she should be supported. So in Rutgers this morning, Harris tries to lock up nomination while Trump campaign pivots. Here's the summary. Harris says she intends to earn and win this nomination. Democratic National Committee plans next steps. Republicans hint at legal challenges to Democrats' switch. What legal challenges could they possibly have? And this right there, ladies and gentlemen, shows you exactly the depths in which the Republican Party will go to win an election. When in doubt, cheat. That is their motto. That is their mantra. That is exactly what they believe. Why are you talking about legal challenges to something that has happened before in the past? This has happened before. There was no legal challenges when Johnson did it, and they wanted his vice president, but instead they ended up with George McGovern. So exactly what legal challenges could you possibly have? Do you not think that your candidate can beat Kamala Harris? Is that what that is? Is that what that is? Do you not think that your candidate of choice, your candidate of choice cannot beat Kamala Harris? Because if you're scared, just say that. If you're scared booty meat, just say that. Just say that part. Why go the legal route? Oh, that's right. Because Donald Trump and the Republicans have stacked the courts. They believe this is a case they can win. However, again, I go back to 1968 when Lyndon Johnson decided not to seek re-election to the presidency. There was still a Democratic National Convention, which brought us George McGovern, who ran against Richard Nixon. So again, precedent has already been set. There was no legal challenges from the Republicans when Johnson decided not to run. What exactly could you possibly have a legal challenge against? What? What are you mad about, Trump supporters? What you running for? Where the F you going? Nah, don't quit now. Don't quit now. Do not quit now. Explain to me exactly what you are running from. What are you running from? And that's the problem. This is what I mean when I say the Trump campaign was not prepared for this. They have set up, they have used every evil inflection over the past 4 years for Joe Biden. Every single one. They have done everything in their power to paint Joe Biden as feeble-minded, sleepy, but for some reason he's also the Kaiser Soze of politics, because the Biden crime family's getting money from Hunter to the big man and this, that, and the third. Well, now Joe Biden is out. So Ashley's diary don't mean nothing. Hunter's laptop don't mean nothing. Now you have to contend with Kamala Harris, and it looks to me like you guys don't have enough armor, don't have enough firepower for that. Now, do you? Am I the only one that notices that? Am I the only one that's noticing that? It sure does seem over the past, 24 hours that the Trump campaign just doesn't really have any smoke. I mean, I've seen the same offensive ones. Don't get me wrong. The knee pads, the this, the that. I've seen it. I've seen it because, of course, that's their go-to. That's their go-to. Oh, well, she's a woman. She must have gotten this, that, and the third. These are the same things that were said about Kamala Harris when Joe Biden picked her as his VP. Same things were said. So this was expected. Of course, the Republican Party, the party of family values, and we respect the rights of the sanctity of the womanhood. Of course, they're going to say offensive things, sexually offensive things about Kamala Harris. They did the same thing to Hillary Clinton. Do y'all not remember that one woman that said that a woman should never, Hillary Clinton shouldn't be president because what happens if she's on that type of time of the month? Hillary was well in her 60s when this happened. The change of life had already happened. I looked at that woman like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? But it was said. So of course it's going to be said this time. But again, this was what the Trump campaign feared. As a matter of fact, let's see. Let's look and see if we can find this. Now, there is some movement on the who would Kamala Harris pick as her VP movement. The names being bandied around: Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, damn good choice. If she picked that man, damn good choice. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, another good one. Another good one. Because people know Andy Beshear. People know Mark Kelly. NC Governor Roy Cooper, maybe. Not a whole lot of name recognition there. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, another one. Another one that might work, might not, nobody knows. But Mark Kelly at the top of that list, that is a damn good choice. Mark Kelly, for those of you who don't know, is the husband. Let's just run down Mark Kelly's bona fides. Okay, the man is an astronaut. Okay, astronaut. The man's an astronaut. Okay, so let's just if you stop there, that would be enough. The man is a damn astronaut. Okay, he is the husband of Gabby Giffords. For those of you who don't remember who Gabby Giffords is, Gabby Giffords is the congresswoman who was shot in the head at one of her campaign rallies in Arizona only to make a recovery and end up coming back onto the Senate and congressional floor. Her story is inspirational. I do not care who you are. And throughout all of it, Mark Kelly was right there next to her. That is her husband. She is his wife. Okay, Mark Kelly, strong choice. Strong choice. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, fantastic choice. Not going to sit here and lie. Fantastic choice. Kentucky, a perennial red state, and Andy Beshear was able to not only win, but win re-election. That tells you something about Andy Beshear. Now, there's a lot of centrism involved in all of this I'm not really comfortable with. I'm not comfortable with a whole lot of the centrism. I really do honestly wish the Democratic Party would quit pretending like the left flank of their party does not exist and actually adopt some, I won't say full-on leftist policies, but it wouldn't be bad if they adopted a few, just a couple, 2, 3, throw the left side some shekels. This also energizes young people. And the sell now is a lot better with Kamala Harris at the head of the ticket than it was with Joe Biden. Don't get me wrong. I disagreed with a lot of what Joe Biden did, but I did respect the fact and recognize the fact that the man has been doing this for 50 years. I recognize the fact that this man started doing this at the height of a tragedy. You understand? He won election to the Senate and then lost his wife and his daughter. He was sworn in for the job of U.S. Senator at the bedside of his 2 sons who were also injured in the same accident. That would be Beau and Hunter. This man has given a lot for democracy in this country. His son, Joseph Robinette Biden III, a.k.a. Beau, passed away from a very aggressive brain cancer. But Beau served this country as a major in the United States Army Reserves, or National Guard, excuse me. So recognizing that, I might have disagreed with him vehemently about a lot of things, but I do respect the fact that Joe Biden did the job, as opposed to Donald Trump, who didn't want the job in the first place, got it by accident, screwed it up for 4 years, became the same narcissistic, thin-skinned son of a biscuit eater that he has always been. And then when he lost the job, he decided to cause an insurrection. This is the part that I want people to remember, okay? And this is all factual information, things that you can actually look up. Donald Trump was never qualified to be president of the United States. And when you look at his record of things that he has done, at both on the campaign trail and as president of the United States, you will see that his achievements did not really match up to anything. What laws were passed under Donald Trump other than, most of what Donald Trump did as president of the United States, he did with executive order. A whole lot of signing and holding up papers to impress people. Not a whole lot of substance. You would be hard pressed to try to think of a law that Donald Trump passed that he, a signature, a piece of achievement that Donald Trump had did. That's what I'm saying. Like, can anybody think of one? So right now, of course, the Trump campaign is scrambling because Kamala Harris has a proven record. Whether you want to say so or not, Kamala Harris, who was the VP for Joe Biden, has significant legislative achievements. Because as the vice president, she is also the president of the Senate. A lot of bills were passed through the Senate and Congress, and she spearheaded it, and Joe Biden signed it. It was a very fruitful relationship for the both of them. So, exactly, again, this is what the Trump administration was afraid of in the first place, And right now, it's looking very much like, unless the donors and the party bigwigs and the delegates try to pull an old switcheroo, which in this case, I would suggest the Democrats don't do that. I would suggest they wouldn't, you know, like, because if they do, there's going to be some problems. There's going to be some problems. You know, this is one where you might not, you just right now, as a party, you need to get behind your nominee. The candidate you wanted has stepped down. He has endorsed his vice president. My suggestion to you is to back her. 100% full-throated. No questions. Regardless, period. Right now. Do it today. Because if you try in any way, shape, form, or fashion to pull any, clown shit or what have you, you're going to lose this election in the most brutal way possible. You're going to lose this election. This is the time for you to back your candidate. This is the time for you to back your candidate. You were ready to throw your hat in the ring for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. You need to do the same thing for Kamala Harris and whoever her VP pick is. I would really like to see. Here's a name that hasn't been brought up in the VP sweepstakes. Senator Tammy Duckworth. I am very, very high on Senator Tammy Duckworth from Illinois. Very high. I'm extremely high. Yes, just like most Democrats, she is a centrist, but she is also a war veteran. She gave 2 limbs in defense of this country. She would make an awesome VP pick, in my opinion. So I know Mark Kelly, Andy Beshear. I understand that. Do not discount a all-woman ticket. Kamala Harris and Tammy Duckworth would be fantastic. I don't even know what that was. I have no idea what that was. Whatever it was, it freaked me out. What just happened? I don't even know what that was. That was odd. Am I the only one that heard that? Maybe I was the only one that heard that. But yes, I do not discount an all-female ticket of Kamala Harris as president, Tammy Duckworth as vice president. My wife likes Katie Porter, Congresswoman from California. That's a good pick. That is a good pick. If you really truly want to reach out to young people, members of the squad are there. Put it in their face. Really put it in their face. Maybe not a AOC, who's just a completely polarizing figure, but Ayanna Pressley. That would be a fantastic pick. A Cori Bush would be a fantastic pick. If you want to shore up the white male base, a Mark Kelly is fantastic. Andy Beshear is fantastic. Pete Buttigieg is still out there. I've heard some calls. Hey, Pete Buttigieg would be the stuff. What's up on Pete? Can we get some love for Pete Buttigieg? You know what I mean? Like, so Pete is out there. Who else is out there? Like, there are names. There are thousands of names. The gentleman that ran against J.D. Vance in Ohio, Ryan. He would be Congressman Ryan. He'd be a good one. Gretchen Whitmer. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. Gretchen Whitmer, governor of Michigan. There's another pick. But in the next half, I'm going to talk about a group that really needs to be talked about, and I want people not to be offended when I do this. Okay? Because right now, the rest of the base in the Democratic Party, the marginalized community in the Democratic Party, they are galvanized. You understand me? Galvanized to vote for Kamala Harris. Galvanized. But there is a group. There is a group that we really need to talk about, and that is white women. Again, this one's going to hurt some feelings. I know, I'm sorry, but it is. Okay? This is going to hurt some feelings, but it needs to be said. It needs to be said. Right now, white women need to ask themselves, what like, you know what I mean? Like, there needs to be some serious conversations in this, because it is white women, election after election after election, that vote overwhelmingly for Republican candidates. We don't know why. We really, honestly, truly don't know why, because the Republican Party has given white women absolutely nothing other than the same biblical BS. Thank you, Howard. Jasmine Crockett is another one. Now, a ticket of Harris and Crockett. Listen, that is an unbeatable ticket. Now, you be a damn fool. You would be a damn fool. A Harris Crockett ticket. But we have to be honest. White women, really, this election, you need to ask yourself, look at all you've lost. Let's go back 8 years. Okay, let's go back 8 years. 2015, 2016. On the Democratic side, you had Hillary Clinton. Okay, is she a polarizing figure? Yes. I'm not going to sit here and try to lie and say that the woman isn't. She is. Very polarizing figure. A lot of women have, for whatever reason, they have attached the sins of Bill Clinton to Hillary Clinton. All she did was love her man. She did what the Republicans swore up and down that you should do. Stand by your man. She stood by her man. Was he a cheating piece of shit? Yes. 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 Okay, let's get that out the way. Bill Clinton was a cheating piece of shit. Yes, he was. Okay? But Hillary Clinton stayed with her man. Yes, I'm pretty sure they probably went to counseling, but she stood by her man. And for some reason, the sins of Bill Clinton have been given to Hillary. Now, my wife will be the first person to tell you she didn't like the fact that Hillary Clinton listened more to the polls and less to the people. I got that, and I agree with that. A lot of young people said that Hillary Clinton did not listen to the younger voices, the younger dynamic voices within the Democratic Party. Again, I'll give you that. But the Republicans were quick to say that Bill Clinton cheated and Hillary stayed with him. Even though their candidate of choice, Donald Trump, has cheated on everything. Taxes, women, golf, tiddlywinks, his own kids' future. You know what I mean? So it was a group of people who were supporting a cheater getting mad at Hillary Clinton for staying with a cheater. Do you see what I'm saying? So it was like a catch-20, whatever the hell, right? So even though there was a lot of controversial things about Hillary Clinton, we still showed out for her. At the time, she got the largest popular vote in American history. So we showed out. We showed up and showed out. But do y'all remember the 45 against 45? The 45% of white women who did not vote for Donald Trump? Y'all remember that? That means there was a group, a large contingent of white women voted for that man, which is what got him in the White House in the first place. So a lot of women, white and otherwise, were really, really disappointed in white women. Disappointed as hell in the votes that white women did. Okay? They were heated, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. Because white women, once again, betrayed other women. They did. And again, I'm not saying all of them. Hence why 45 against 45 even existed in the first place. There were the 45% of white women that did not vote for that man were vocal about it. They were vocal. They were telling people in the heartbeat, I'm 45 against 45, you know what I'm saying? I did not support that man. I've never supported that man. Screw that man. They were out here in full force saying this. Right? Flash forward to 2020. We have a chance to get this odious human being out of the White House. The candidate of choice to do the job, Joe Biden. All right? Now, mind you, this is after all of the heinous things that Donald Trump had done to get to the White House. All the disrespect he was showing to women while in the White House. Candidate of choice, Joe Biden. Once again, in a large, not overwhelming, but a very large contingent, the largest contingent of people voting for Donald Trump were white women. It just so happened that this time they lost. And that's where we ended up with Joe Biden. Flash forward, it is now 2024. We are in a post-Roe world. Post-Roe world. The thing that Black and brown and Native and indigenous women have been saying all along was going to happen has now happened. The unthinkable has happened. The great replacement theory is now something that is talked about openly. Openly. You know what I mean? Openly. This is weird. I am not saying anything disrespectful. Y'all know I'm talking about this. Y'all know everything I am telling you is absolutely true. So we live in a post-Roe world. We also live in a Project 2025 world. A plan that has a part in it talking about the nuclear family. They're going back to the parlance of 1950. What was the significance for white women in 1950? You could not own a checking account. You could not own a credit card. Hell, white women working outside of the home was frowned upon. Frowned upon, I tell you. Frowned upon. And here is Project 2025 trying to bring back the exact same wording, the exact same meaning, the exact same feelings. Now, they don't want the 91% tax rate that Eisenhower had in the 1950s, but they want you back in the damn kitchen cooking pot roast and giving out martinis. And on the other side of this, once again, is another woman. There is another woman running against Donald Trump. Black and brown and Native and indigenous women have been trying to get you to get your head out of your 4 point of contact for 8 years. A lot of white women are supporting a man who bragged about grabbing women by the vagina because he is famous. This is not me making this up. This is absolutely true. In fact, some of them, and I wish one day I could show this, and I might actually start making these Patreon exclusive, pictures from the Trump land. These are pictures that I, over the past 8 years, have accumulated when I look at Trumpers doing Trump shit. I have 2 of them that I cannot show. I can't show them on TikTok. I can't show them on YouTube. I can't show them on Instagram without the whole picture getting violated. So I might make these some Patreon exclusive. Just put it behind a paywall. Pay $3, you get a chance to see pictures from Trump land. I have 2 in particular that when I saw them, I had to either I screenshotted both of them. And I was just like, this is the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like this before. So that might be a Patreon exclusive. Trump pictures from Trump land. But the sentiment is this. With Project 2025 looming over your head, a 1950 style nuclear family being the impetus for this, with the Great Replacement Theory being screamed about, with knowing that the repeal of Roe and the hinting at no-fault divorce, I need white women to understand something. This is about y'all. I have said this on numerous occasions. The first time I said it, I got pushback. The first time I ever made a TikTok video about this, white women lost their minds and got mad at me. And then Roe was repealed. What you hear from me has been echoed in sentiments from black and brown and native women for 30 years. Okay, if I'm telling it to you, it's because I've heard this for 30 years. Intelligent black, brown, and native and indigenous women have been trying to tell you over and over and over and over and over. They don't give a damn about black, brown, and native women. The fact that native women are still screaming about MMIW, missing and murdered indigenous women. And this is not a something that is on mainstream media and being talked about over and over and over. This is something that native and indigenous women are doing for their own communities because nobody else cares. The fact that black women have been telling their white counterparts how the mortality rate for black women is 4 times higher than it is for white women when it comes to childbirth. And white women are still hearing this and not paying any attention to it. The fact that brown women are telling these white women how the immigration policy is leaving holes open for these women to be not just trafficked, but sexually assaulted and things of that nature in the process of trying to become American citizens. And white women are still not understanding this. The fact that these black, brown, and native women are telling you that there are issues outside of white womanhood and that you need to pay attention to them. And then to top all of that off, knowing these things are about to happen, a lot of white women are going to walk into a voting booth November 5th of this year and vote for Donald Trump again for the 3rd time. Knowing damn well that their rights are being eroded inch by inch by inch by the policies and the impetus behind those policies of the party that they are supporting. This is, again, a lot of white women don't want to hear this. But again, black and brown and native women have been saying this for 30 years, that the Republican Party does not want to see women in the workplace. They don't want to see the women as CEOs. They don't want to see women as president. This might very well be a bigger hurdle than electing the first black president. I'm going to say it. This might very well be a bigger hurdle than electing the first black president. Now, if I had had my druthers, Elizabeth Warren would have been sitting in the seat that Hillary Clinton was sitting in. If I had my druthers. Somebody like Katie Porter would have been sitting in the seat that Hillary Clinton was sitting in 2016. Because if America was ready for a black president, they're damn sure ready for a woman president. Did I agree with everything Hillary Clinton did? Absolutely not. No. In fact, there was a majority of stuff that Hillary Clinton was for that I was completely against. But I still voted for it because I understood the existential threat that Donald Trump has raised. And white women betrayed womanhood in that election. They betrayed them in 2020. Are you going to do it again? That is the fear with having a woman at the top of the ticket. Because you understand, the powers that be are going to bastardize this woman. They've already started. There's a group on Facebook that the moment this was announced and the endorsement, Joe Biden gave the endorsement to Kamala Harris, they put a picture of Kamala Harris with knee pads on. This was 5 minutes after the announcement. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. They have called that woman a whore since she ran for Senate. The part that pissed me off is a whole lot of black men did it, and I will never forgive you bastards for that. Never. I will never forgive you for it. That's when I started going hard in the paint. But anyway. They called Hillary Clinton shrill. They called her a bitch. They said that she was a whore. They did all of these things. So the playbook ain't going to change because, isms don't change. They don't. Isms just get nasty. Even more nasty. They're not going to change. It's not like these people are going to come up with a new damn script. They're gonna call Kamala Harris a whore. They're gonna say things about her husband. They might even say things about her kids. The question now becomes, white women, are you gonna listen to this and still vote for the party that would do it? Because if you were in the seat that Kamala Harris is in right now, guess what? You'd be getting the same thing. You would be getting the exact same thing. This is a known fact. This is a known fact. Kamala Harris is going to be called everything except her name. They're going to call her everything except Vice President Harris. They're going to do this. It's coming. And this election will once again hinge on the support of women. Because I'm telling you right now, black women are going to show up and show out. Mark my words. Black women are going to show up and show out. They're going to be out there rallying for her. They're going to be out there talking about her. But just to show you what we are up against, white women, I want to read something to you. 2 days ago, we lost Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, a stalwart in Democratic politics. We lost her after a bout with cancer. Okay. She was loved on Capitol Hill. President Obama loved her. President Biden loved her. Vice President Harris loved her. Everybody loved Sheila Jackson Lee. Okay. Her last tweet was this. I have no idea what Donald Trump was talking about last night. For more than an hour, he rambled and lied. He's unfit for the presidency. Now, my friends, it is time to focus on beating him and his Project 2025. That is why I am endorsing Joe Biden. This was her last tweet before she passed away. This is Laura Loomer reacting to that tweet. Laura Loomer is a failed congressional candidate from Florida who is a QAnon nut job, a hard in the paint MAGA supporter who spouts off conspiratorial bullshit because she lost her campaign. She was also at one point on a video crying about the fact that the deep state stole her election from her. These are the two tweets that she put out after Sheila Jackson Lee passed away. Here's the first one. Sheila Jackson Lee died from a bad case of Trump derangement syndrome. There was no cure. That's the first one. But this is the one that made me really, genuinely, truly, from the bottom of the depths of my soul, hate Laura Loomer and everything that she stands for. This is what she said. Even on her deathbed, this ghetto bitch couldn't keep President Trump's name out of her disgusting mouth. I'd say rest in peace, but we all know lying Democrats who have destroyed our country are going to hell. Sheila Jackson Lee will be remembered as a destructive force in America and one of the most low IQ members of Congress in the history of our nation. Today she died. Instead of spending her final moments with her family, she was talking shit about Trump on X and spewing more lies. She won't be missed, but I'm sure she'll still be voting Democrat this November. That is Laura Loomer, a white woman. That is Laura Loomer, a white woman. Laura Loomer said that. Laura Loomer said that about the late Sheila Jackson Lee, who literally on her last tweet endorsed Joe Biden, somebody she had known for many, many years, somebody she had served with when she was a congresswoman and he was a senator and then vice president of the United States. Laura Loomer, a loon, a deranged nut job, somebody who couldn't even win in Florida, of all places, said that about her on her death. White women, these are the women that you would be voting with. You would be voting with the Laura Loomers of the world. I really want you to understand that. You would be voting with the Laura Loomers of the world. Is this something that you would be proud of? Is this something you would want to go down in history as I voted with Laura Loomer? A woman who would disrespect not just a black woman, but a black congressional woman, a job that Laura Loomer's punk ass could not get moments after she died. Is that the person you want to vote with? Is that the person you want to be associated with? Is it? Is that the person you want to say, I stood with Laura Loomer? Like, this is why I am not a fan of the way democracy is operated in America. I'll be the first person to say that. Okay. Even as I served this country in uniform, I realized that the flaws in this country have to be addressed at some point. Okay? They have to be. I realize our democratic process is so flawed that it ended up in a situation where we had two over 70-year-old white men running for the presidency, and we were told to be excited about it. So I recognize that our democracy, the way American politics is done in this country, is flawed. But I do know right from wrong. I do know right from wrong. I am, after all, my mother's son. I realize anytime I walk into a voting booth, I'm not just voting for my own interest. I am voting for my 4 daughters. I am voting for my 4 sons. I am voting for my grandkids. I am voting for my niece and my nephew. I am voting for my community. I am voting for the rights that my wife should have as a woman paying taxes in America. I'm voting so that my 4 daughters have a right to control their bodies, to have the right to privacy. I do not need to know what goes on in my daughter's doctor's offices, except for maybe my youngest, and even then I don't need to get all deep off into the weeds. I am voting so that my niece and my son can live their authentic lives as members of the LGBTQIA+. I am voting so that my community is less policed, not letting crime run rampant, but we are treated the same way other communities in America are treated. I am voting so that there are no more MMIWs, that we stop this once and for all. I am voting so that DACA stays in place and that young brown brothers and sisters are able to live the American dream that we have been touting to the rest of the world. My own selfish self-interest do not come into the picture until probably the very last part of it. I'm an American citizen. I am a veteran. And this November, I am voting against Project 2025. And you can say, oh, well, that means you endorse Harris and her running mate or whatever. Fine. I'll own that. I'll push the line with that. I am voting against Project 2025 because everything I just named, every single thing I just named is in Project 2025. Project 2025 will affect every single member of my family. Every single member. My wife will be affected. My daughters will be affected. My sons will be affected. My niece and my nephews will be affected. My community will be affected. I am voting against Project 2025. And I do believe now is the time for Americans to stand up and tell the truth. They need to tell the truth. And the truth of the matter is this. Donald Trump represents an existential threat, not just to American society, but to the global world at large. He is a thin-skinned, narcissistic, self-centered, self-aggrandizing asshole with no credentials or qualifications to be president of the United States. He is exactly what people like the Heritage Foundation and ALEC and organizations like that want. He is a useful idiot. He is a Trojan horse. If allowed to walk back into the White House, the landscape, not just of America, but the world will change. Authoritarianism and fascism will have finally gotten a foothold in the most powerful country on earth. Everything I am telling you, you can look up yourself. This November is we hear this all the time, but this one absolutely is true. This is the most important election of your lifetime, because it might very well be the last one. Because if given the opportunity, given the power, and having a useful idiot like Donald Trump in the White House, groups like the Heritage Foundation and ALEC will have political power to back up all of their machinations, like tax cuts, deregulation. Your water will be less safe. Your food will be less safe. Your air will be less safe. The roads you drive on will be less safe. This is all a known fact. And by knowing this, this is where I go back to white women. By knowing all of this, by being able to look up Project 2025, actually downloading it and reading it, like I have. There is if you do it on Adobe, you can type in little different things and find out what Project 2025 has in store for that thing. If you go and type you're a woman veteran, you want to know what does Project 2025 say about veterans? Type in veterans, you will find it out. You're a member of the LGBTQIA, but you want to know what does Project 2025 have in store for the LGBTQIA. You can type that in and find that out. It literally, you type in Project 2025 in Google, you will go to it. You can download the entire thing and you can read it for yourself. By knowing this, are you going to finally vote with women? Vote for women's rights. Vote for women's reproductive rights. Vote for women to have body autonomy and privacy. Or are you going to once again continue to vote against your own best interests, betraying everything that all women stand for, and in the process, making it harder to be a woman in America? Are you going to vote selfishly? Or are you going to once and for all finally vote with your best interest? You don't like Kamala Harris? Fine. Vote against Project 2025. You didn't like Biden? Fine. Vote against Project 2025. White women have betrayed womanhood over and over every single election. And the counterbalance to that is black women save democracy over and over and over and over again. Sometimes it is okay for you to not center yourself as a white woman and to listen to the women and the voices of marginalized communities. It is okay for you to do this. It is okay for you to do this. It is okay for you to not vote with your husband or the way your husband votes. It is okay for you not to vote Republican because mom and dad were Republicans and my aunt and uncle were Republicans. It is okay for you to finally look at this situation and say, this is not about me. This is about my daughters and my granddaughters and my great-granddaughters. It is okay for you to do this. The question becomes, are you going to do it? Are you finally, for once in your life, are you finally going to vote with all women, or are you going to continue to vote selfishly? Are you going to stand with Kamala, or are you going to stand with Laura Loomer, a woman who lost a congressional race, who disparaged a longtime congresswoman, black woman, moments after she died? Are you going to stand with Kamala, or are you going to stand with the woman that called the late Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee this ghetto bitch? That's the question you need to ask yourself. This is The Sound of Coffee on GCPR. My name is Thomas Bishop. I am drinking on Starbucks French Roast Dark. Picked up a big old bag at Costco. Go to Costco.com or go to your local Costco. It's easy to get in. Show's brought to you by Glitterwix. Coffee's delicious. It's brought to you by Glitterwix. Go to glitterwix.com and check out the newest, hottest, freshest scent in candles today. That would be Villainous, the candle scent inspired by yours truly, Thomas the Villain Bishop. So, I don't have a House of the Dragon update. Y'all know how I do. I watch it on Monday because we do the Villain's View on Sunday, so I don't get a chance to watch it then. I have to watch it during the day and then I come in and talk about it tomorrow. But part of the Game of Thrones cinematic universe, if you will. Somebody people have been using music talking about Alicent having her moment, finding out, oh wow, I am a woman and they won't listen to me. Yeah, it's true. It is true. It's quite funny. So the evangelical Christian conservatives. All right, I have a friend, and I'm not using that word loosely. You know what I mean? Like, we're still friends. We just don't talk much anymore. We really don't, but she's still my friend. She's a hardcore 100% Republican, right? Hardcore. Her husband, you know, and I think that's probably where the distance comes from. I'm like, hey man, stay over there with that. I'm good, right? But she put up something about the gentleman that died at the Trump rally during the Glassonation attempt. And she tried to get sympathy, like people would be so cruel as to say that this didn't happen. Nobody is saying that Compatori did not die. I think it's all kinds of disgraceful that his wife would not talk to the president of the United States, who was calling to offer his condolences, but she waited for Orange Oompa Loompa Cheeto Man, the magical melting man of Mar-a-Lago, to call her. And he only called her after, you know, putting out a shoe and going golfing and putting out the Never Surrender with the Bloody Face t-shirt, right? But I was thinking about my friend when I saw this video of Kenneth Copeland, the dried up leader of whatever church he belongs to, because, you know, he's Nosferatu. Him, another gentleman, and some woman were talking about praying for healing for Trump's ear. The woman had to remind these two dried up, blown away leaves of white men, let's pray for everyone who was injured. But then these jackasses put their hands over their right ear and started praying. All right. This is after a week. Well, not even a week, because the convention is only 4 days. But this is after 4 whole ass days of Trump supporters walking around here with gauze on their right ear to quote unquote show support. All right. And the evangelical Christian conservatives are eating this up. So I make no secret of the fact that I am an atheist. I make no secret of this. I'm a virulent atheist, militant atheist, if you will. So I don't make any secret of this. I believe in no gods. I believe all religions are a Ponzi scheme. It's my opinion. It's how I feel, right? But when I saw that, I realized that even something like an assassination or a glassonation attempt is not going to make these people be serious about anything. It was bad enough that Fred Guttenberg, of the father who lost his daughter in the Parkland shooting, found it distasteful and disgusting that these people were walking around with bandages on the side of their ears during this convention. A man who lost his daughter in a mass shooting sees these idiots walking around here with bandages on the side of their head. But the evangelical Christian conservative movement has completely turned off people to the church. Churches decline. Like, church is declining because of these people. And they don't care. They don't care. They do not care. They're going to continue down this political path because they just feel a certain way, and they have been very vocal about feeling a certain way since the arrival of Barack Obama. The evangelical Christian conservative movement has always disliked Democrats, but with the arrival of Barack Obama, they have gone all in for Donald Trump, a felonious, philandering, failed businessman. So I watched those people in that video hold their hands up to their right ear and pray. And I've never had any respect for the evangelical Christian conservative movement, not 1 ounce, not even a single solitary sliver of it. But right then I was just disgusted. I was disgusted. So when my friend put up a post about Compatore, who died, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, I put up a picture of these people at the Trump rally at the RNC, the convention, with MAGA hats on and bandages over their right ears. I think we might need to start talking about taxing the church. It might be time for us to have a nice, long, deep conversation about taxing the church. Because if we don't, the evangelical movement, if we do not do this, the evangelical movement is going to eventually act as though they run the place. There is a clear separation between church and state. It is put in the First Amendment. Nobody is saying that you cannot worship the God you want to wherever you want to. What we are saying is you cannot influence law to do so. And slowly, inch by inch, we have allowed the church to do just that in our public political lives. There is a part within Project 2025, I have to go back to it, that would make it illegal. They would have a program or a law put in place to make it illegal to criticize Christianity in this country. That strikes guys like me. It's in there. It is in there. It would make it illegal. They would have a grouping or some office that would deal with offenses to Christianity. And as an atheist, that affects me. That affects me. So there would be a hell of a lot more Kenneth Copelands in your life and a lot less Thomas the Villain. You know what I mean? So to see these people not taking this thing seriously. I told y'all last week, if they're not going to take it seriously, why should I? But that's not the part that really bothers me. That is not really the part that gets to me. It's the fact that they are now trying to merge the death of Compatore with the almost assassination of Donald Trump. They want to pray for Donald Trump's ear. But when you talk about the hypocrisy of this, they want to bring up Compatore, and I really hope I'm pronouncing his name right. They want to bring up Compatore like a shield. How dare you say something about this? This man died, but you are walking around here with bandages on your right ear. You are walking around here with bandages on your right ear as a quote-unquote support for Donald Trump, but I'm not supposed to criticize him. I'm not supposed to criticize you. This is what evangelical Christian conservatives want to do. They want to make it illegal for you to even say something like, hey, you people, your tax exempt status should be removed because you are trying to play in politics. At the same time, you're making laws that say that I can't criticize you. But they're not taking it seriously. They're not. They didn't say we're going to pray for the widow and the family of firefighter Compatore. They didn't say that. They said they were going to pray for Donald Trump's healed ear. Healed ear. You know, we have not gotten any sort of information on the shooter. We know his name, we know his face, but most of the inspections and investigations I've seen have been from TikTok people on social media, not the Secret Service. We still don't know where this dude came from. We don't know how he got so close. We don't know anything about it. We don't. We know that Donald Trump was not wearing that patch that he had all week, walking around here look like a broke-eared Vulcan. He didn't have that patch on him the next day when he went golfing. He wasn't wearing no big old ear patch. The doctor had to come out and say Donald Trump didn't even get stitches. He didn't even get stitches. So what exactly happened to that man's ear? How come we haven't heard anything about that ear? We've heard a whole lot about we've heard a whole lot of, well, it was an assassination attempt, but was it though? Where's the investigation? Where's the here's the timeline of what happened? Why was this man able to get on a building during a rally for a presidential candidate? I'll give you an example. Barack Obama spoke at Kansas City during his first presidential campaign. And naturally, we're going to go take the kids to go see the first black presidential, Democratic presidential nominee. We're going to take him. He had it at Liberty Memorial. Liberty Memorial is a very big park here in Kansas City, right? We had to climb up a hill to get there, because Liberty Memorial sits up here. We couldn't drive. We had to walk. So we parked, walked up this hill. Liberty Memorial overlooks Crown Center. Crown Center has a hotel, the Sheraton in the top, the hotel's right there. At the top of it is a spinning restaurant, by the way. Great place. Go eat. That's what I heard. There were Secret Service agents with rifles in 3 of the hotel rooms that were facing literally right across the street from Liberty Memorial. Liberty Memorial has a statue, looks like a cannon, but there is a wall right in front of it. They had Secret Service agent snipers on that. They had Secret Service agent snipers they were covering that man from east to west, from north to south. He came up, gave a fantastic dynamic speech. We got pictures. We got a chance to really listen to what would eventually become the first black president of the United States. You mean to tell me that Donald Trump can have a rally and none of that happens? There's no Secret Service agents on the roof that this kid climbed up just, all willy-nilly. Oh, look, he's just climbing up the roof. The people outside of the rally are telling the police, yo, there's a dude climbing up the side of the roof. You know what I mean? There were people, there was more than 50 people trying to point out to the Secret Service, yo, son, there's a dude climbing on the top of the roof. Nobody noticed that? Donald Trump supposedly is shot at. If this had been, this is where the conspiracy theories come in. If that had been a bullet, it should have hit the person right behind him who was holding the phone. It'd have killed him. Instead, one person died and several people were injured. If you notice, the evangelical Christians did not say, well, this woman had to say, let's pray for everybody who was injured and killed. Because Kenneth Copeland and his other minion was all ready to pray for nothing more than Donald Trump's right ear. They were ready for, let's pray for Donald Trump's right ear. Well, let's pray for everybody. We have not gotten an update on the people who went into the hospital who were injured. Where's the update on them? Where is the update? But again, evangelical Christian conservatives just want to pray for Donald Trump's ear. This is where the calls of white supremacy come in. This is why people believe that the evangelical Christian conservative movement is filled with white supremacists. Because the only thing they're fixated on is Donald Trump. It's Donald Trump. They don't care about anybody else. Which is great, because the people who are supporting Donald Trump don't care about anybody but Donald Trump. The wife of this fallen retired firefighter did not want to speak to the President of the United States, who was calling to offer his condolences. But she spoke to Donald Trump. The same Donald Trump who's having his ear prayed for by a bunch of evangelical Christian conservatives who said that Barack Obama was the Antichrist, even though this man is one of the most faithful human beings on earth. Same wife, 2 kids, Christian, gets Bible scriptures in his BlackBerry every morning. Donald Trump makes a joke like 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians walking to a bar, waka waka waka. A man died at his rally. A man died at his rally. And the evangelicals want to pray for Donald Trump's ear. Evangelicals, this is the lot and the place they have put themselves in. This is why when people don't hate the church because of God. I don't believe in it. Can't hate something I don't believe in. It is the people within the church are the reason people are leaving church. It is the people on the inside that are the reason why nobody wants to go to church. This is why there is a decline in religious affiliations. There's a hell of a lot more people who are saying unaffiliated. They're not Protestants or Catholics or things. This is why, because church has now taken it, like they are now trying to get more and more political power. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. There's not a single person that says, yeah, I want more church in my personal life. Jesus even said, when you pray, do not pray like the Pharisees. Go into a locked closet and talk to your Father alone. Not these people. Not these people. They want to pray out in front where everybody can see them. And they're not praying for the fallen. They're not praying for those who are injured. They are praying for one man and one man only. They're praying for Donald Trump, his ear. So for my friend to put, oh, well, this man died. The evangelical Christian conservatives don't give a damn that this man died. They don't give a damn. They do not give a damn. So explain to me exactly why the rest of us should. Why should we pray for the healing of Donald Trump's ear? He didn't pray for the healing of the man that died. He went golfing. He put out t-shirts and shitty shoes. I want y'all to think about this. This is the man that evangelical Christian conservatives believe is a baby Christian and the savior of this country. This is who this man is. On Saturday, there's an assassination attempt. On Sunday, he's golfing. The Never Surrender t-shirts are already being made before Saturday night turns into Sunday morning. And then he puts out some $299 assassination attempt shoes with his picture on the side of it. An assassination attempt that took the life of somebody, injured 2 or 3 other people. And this is the man that evangelical Christian conservatives are praying for. A man so heinous that he will make a tennis shoe out of something where a man died. And the widow of that man did not want to talk to the President of the United States when he was offering his condolences for the loss of her husband, but waited to talk to the man who literally did not call her until after his shoes were made, his merch was already out, and he had taken a game of golf on one of his own golf courses where the Secret Service had to protect him at taxpayers' expense. And this is the man that Kenneth Copeland and evangelical Christians were praying for. This man, this guy, him, this dude. And somehow, if we don't show the proper deference and reverence for, oh, wow, look at what could have possibly happened. If we don't do that, somehow we're heinous. Somehow we're cruel. Somehow we wanted this to happen. No. No, we did not. No. This is us being honest. The optics of this look completely strange and unusual. They do not look right. We're not under any obligation to pretend like they look right. They don't. And the hypocrisy of the Christian conservative church to try to shame anybody into asking these questions, to making these jokes, to go into the conspiracy theories like the same way they do. The hypocrisy of these people to act as though we are cruel for asking questions. We are cruel for being doubting. We are cruel for not thinking of those injured. The evangelicals aren't thinking about them. They're thinking about their chosen guy, who literally all Donald Trump is an easy mouthpiece for their white supremacy and racist attitudes. Please do not forget that this is the same evangelical Christian conservative community that when Brown v. Board of Education was finally adjudicated by the Supreme Court, came up with Christian academies because they wanted to continue to segregate away from black people. The same people who supposedly worship the same God these people do. They didn't want to go to school with them, just like they didn't want to live with them. The same people who siphoned taxpayer money from public schools, the place that they swear kids aren't learning. That's where Lean On Me was written and directed and stuff like that. They siphoned off taxpayer money from those neighborhoods to fund these Christian academies and these Christian private schools. And when told not to, they sued and lost twice. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I am talking about. The evangelical movement has shown without a shadow of a doubt that, they are not here for the betterment of society. They're not here for, you are called to show the love of Jesus Christ. You were tasked to follow the words of the Lord Jesus Christ. These people are following the words of their own hypocrisy and their own biases. And praying for Donald Trump's ear proves that. It proves that. It proves that. Not for healing for our nation, not for healing of our political divide, things that I have seen people pray for. I have seen it. I have seen how there have been church leaders that have said, our tasking is to show the love of God, show the love of Jesus Christ, show the love of Muhammad and Allah, show the love of these people, not to be in the middle of politics. I have heard this. And then I have turned around and also heard a larger majority of these same damn people, doing things like the stunt they did in Kenneth Copeland's church. And the fact that my friend decided to glom the death of this firefighter onto the quote-unquote assassination attempt of Donald Trump, the same assassination attempt of Donald Trump that Donald Trump isn't taken seriously. The same assassination attempt that Donald Trump is now making merch off of. the same assassination attempt that has members of a mega church praying for his ear while his supporters flock into the Pfizer Arena in Milwaukee with fake bandages on their right ear. I told my niece this and I meant it because I actually did see it. A woman folded up an entire maxi pad and put it on the side of her head. You could see the wings. She folded it once. You can tell she folded it once. Then she folded it again. She clamped it to the side of her head with tape. This was a maxi pad to her ear. To her ear. So my distaste and disdain for the church is warranted. It is absolutely warranted. Because I need y'all to look at this. I need y'all to look at this. Supposedly, an event in American history happened. This is what our mainstream media has been shoving down our throats while they push Joe Biden out the door. That Donald Trump almost died. He almost died. It was an assassination attempt. A man did die. His wife didn't want to hear from the leader of the United States when he wanted to offer his condolences. If something happens to me and the President of the United States wants to call my wife and give her his condolences or her condolences or the condolences of the nation, my wife is already under the instruction of answering the damn call. If I die in a mass shooting and President Joe Biden calls and says, Mrs. Villain, this is President Biden. I want to offer the condolences of the family. I understand that your husband was a veteran, blah, blah, blah. My wife is going to take that call. Even if she didn't, if it was John McCain, President John McCain, and I died, my wife is not a Republican. But if a Republican president was to call to offer his condolences, my wife would take the damn phone call. Not this woman. She waited to hear from Orange Oompa Loompa Cheeto Man, the magical melting man of Mar-a-Lago. She waited for this. And do you know what he did? Do you think he thought about her? Nope. He was golfing, making merch, t-shirts, tennis shoes. He didn't think about her. He did all of that before he called her. And then Monday morning, bright and early, when the convention starts, his own supporters are walking around here with bandages on the side of their damn head. Bandages that remind this woman of the death of her husband who died at a Trump rally. And this is the man evangelical Christian conservatives want to pray for. This is why the church is dying. This is why. It's not atheists. It's not Satanists. It's not rap music. It's not big booty twerk. It's not weed. It's not millennials. It's not TikTok. It's none of that. It is declining because of you. It is declining because of the actions of the people inside the damn church. This is not me saying this out of turn. This is a known fact. Church attendance and church, people going to church has been declining for years. And it is because of people like Kenneth Copeland and people like Pat Robertson and things of that nature who are blatantly white supremacists because they have glommed onto a man who fits none of the characteristics of what a Christian man should be. That would have been the black guy in the White House who you did not like. This ain't me saying this. You can look at it. The data is there. And this is why the church is dying. This is why I, as an avowed, virulent, militant atheist, want not just a separation of church and state. I want the Great Wall of China between church and state. I want the church to serve as what it's supposed to be, which is a spiritual place for people to get their spirit filled and faith renewed and things of that nature. I do not want them making laws for me, my wife, my daughters, my sons, my granddaughters, my grandsons, my nieces, my nephews, my community, my city, my state, or my damn nation. Said what I said and I ain't taking it back. Let's end on something light. Okay, we got 30 minutes. Let's talk about something light. So as you know, on this station, we also have the return, because I know people have been eagerly anticipating the return of plot holes. Or as we have dubbed it, because we had two names. We had two names. And they were clashing with each other. One sounded perfectly fine, but there were already a bunch of shows named it. The other one was just our nom de guerre. It's what we call ourselves, what we do. So between plot holes and talking shite with assholes, we decided on plot a-holes. We decided this. So the return of plot a-holes is coming. We just have to schedule some time to get it done. Last night on The Villain's View, if you missed it, go back to our Facebook page, Ghost Claw Entertainment, and you can watch. It was a very long but very passionate show. We talked about Project 2025, but there was a moment where there was some levity because we're not going to let America's political wins affect the fact that we are all friends, we're family, and we like to get together and talk about things. So we were talking about movies last night that we want to review on Plot A-Holes. One of those movies, and I brought it up, I even showed the trailer, was the infamous Birdemic. Good old Birdemic. Now, mind you, I have never watched Birdemic. I've heard about it. I did watch the CinemaSins Everything Wrong with Birdemic. I laughed. I laughed so hard I farted. It was quite funny. So last night, we're on The Villain's View. I said, hey, since we know Plot A-Holes is coming back, we should start thinking about some really bad movies we can rip apart while we're watching them. And because we now have a rating system, Plot A-Holes will come out swinging with a rating system. It is called the COA rating system, or the can of ass rating system. If something is not that bad, even a bad movie, if it's not that bad, it will get a can of ass. One can of ass, just regular old flat room temperature can of ass. But it goes all the way up. You have the 4-pack. You have the 6-pack. You have the 10-pack of ass, which used to be the bar, but apparently people said, nope, I can't drive 10-pack of ass. We had to go further. We have the flaming keg of ass. That's a horrible movie. We have the brewery of ass. The brew house of ass. We have the wheat field of ass. Because you got to get your hops and wheat and barley to make this disgustingly delicious can of ass. We like to call the 6-pack of ass the prime cans of ass. Shout out to Prime Ass Water. But the most elusive ranking that we will have will be the infamous. I can't even believe we watched this, and if you tell anybody we did, I will deny it to your face. We have the Flaming World of Ass. That means that thing is so bad. It's so bad that people should be arrested for it. People should be arrested for doing that. Like, why did you even make that? What were you thinking? Like, you put this out in the air for people to see. What was wrong with you? What kind of horrible human being are you that you would do something like that? The Flaming World of Ass. So, Plot A-Holes, again, going back to Birdemic, I'm trying to convince my co-host to do Birdemic first. Because I just like laughing. I enjoy a good ha 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 ha. Other movies that have been bandied about. Manos, The hands of fate. And for those of you who do not speak Spanish, manos means hands in Spanish. So we would basically be reviewing Hands, the Hands of Fate. I can't wait to get to that one. The Room is there. I did not hit her. It's a lie. I did not hit her. I did not. Like I need to watch that because I've heard how bad it is. But Plot A-Holes will be coming back fairly soon. It'll probably be sometime in the fall. We'll let the kids get back to school and stuff like that. But yes, Plot A-Holes will be returning. So we can go ahead and start tearing apart some of these bad films. What else is going on in the world? What else is going on in the world? Drake just can't leave this alone. Is Drake still taking shots at Kendrick Lamar? After the decimation of his entire career, has Drake not learned his lesson? Leave that man alone. You leave it. Kung Fu Kenny has something for you, Drake. You couldn't handle it the last time. You're not going to be able to handle it this time. Leave that man alone. It's Kung Fu Kenny got to go choke a bitch. That's how I look at it. Apparently Kanye and Pusha T are ready to come out and diss good old Drake. That might be a problem. That might be a problem because Drake is just being hit by, everything. The problem with that is Drake is not prepared for war. He's not. But one of the things that I learned in the beef between Kendrick and Drake is that a lot of people don't understand hip-hop culture. They don't understand hip-hop history. Their frame of reference stops at Biggie and Tupac. Biggie and Tupac was not a beef. It was an egotistical man in Tupac, and I'm saying it. I love Tupac's music, but we have to be honest about this. This all started with the shooting at Quad Studios. I think Tupac knew that Biggie had nothing to do with that. I think he did. I think in a lot of ways Tupac wanted to blame Biggie because he didn't know. But I'm pretty sure, I think in the back of his head, Tupac knew that Biggie didn't do this. I think he did. And Suge Knight put a battery in his back, and that's what ended his life. And then a year later, Biggie was gone. But people seem to believe that that's what hip-hop beef is. It ends up in the streets. There might be violence. No. This is what happens when you don't know hip-hop culture. The diss track and battling is a part of hip-hop and has been a part of hip-hop for decades now. Okay, hip-hop is like 50-something years old. It's been a part of hip-hop's DNA since day one. Okay? Busy B dissed Kool Moe Dee. Kool Moe Dee dissed LL Cool J. The Funky Fresh crew got into it with whoever. All right? Hell, the Force MDs got into it with somebody else, and they were like R&B singers. You know what I mean? So diss tracks and hip-hop have been going on since longer than some of these people have been alive. So this is their really honestly, this was their very first taste of it. Hip-hop heads like myself, people who have been a part of the culture since day one, we understood what this was. We understood, this is how crazy this is. We understood Kendrick's Control verse, which is where Drake got in his feelings and has been in his feelings ever since. Kendrick's Control verse was not a, hey, everybody kiss my ass. It was a braggadocious LL Cool J-esque sort of thing. That's what it was. He's saying, I got love for y'all, but I'm trying to murder y'all. That's what you're supposed to do. Back in the day, when you got that microphone, you were supposed to spit. You were supposed to put some rhymes out there. You're supposed to have people going, oh! Obviously, people have never watched battle rap. URL, King of the Dot. Obviously, y'all haven't watched any of that. Obviously. Because y'all thinking instantly, oh man, it might turn into violence. And thank you to that chipmunk DJ Academics for putting that out there. But no. Hip hop has always been about who is the best. When you give them that microphone, who is the best? A lot of the swagger that I have over social media over the past 4 years can be attributed to hip hop. When I tell somebody I'm better than them and I know it, or they know it, that's my braggadocious. I'm better than you. Yeah, I mean? And you know it. You know it. It's like, oh, you mad because I'm styling on you. Like, plus the cal is on me. You know what I mean? So that's where a lot of people, this is their first introduction to hip hop beef. You know, that's what you're supposed to do. When you get in front of a microphone, or in my case, when you get in front of a camera, you're supposed to show and prove. When I open this camera, when I make this video, ain't nobody gonna make a video like this. This is me. I'm braggadocious. And again, this is where Drake is losing, because I don't think Drake is part of the culture. I don't think Drake understands the culture. First and foremost, off the top of my head, you know, when you bring somebody's wife or kids into a battle, that's it. That is it. They are giving you this work. They are giving you this work, so you better make sure your house is clean. Drake's was not. Drake's was not clean. When Pusha made a diss talking about, hey man, how you gonna call yourself the best when you got ghostwriters? Which is true. Which is true. In hip hop, you write your own rhymes. One of the reasons I never became a rapper is because I'm not good at making rhymes. I'd sound like Aesop Rock if I did mine. Mine be a lot of stream of consciousness, a bunch of words people wouldn't understand. And I know that. But if you don't write your own rhymes, you gotta go. There's a difference between making a hot song and making a hot rhyme. A hot song, yeah, you can have a bunch of writers in there. You can. But when you grab that microphone, them better be your words. Drake out here using his BlackBerry. Where they do that at? Where they do that at? That's not a freestyle, that's a written. When you freestyle, that's supposed to be off the top of your head. Ask Black Thought. For those of you who are not, knowledgeable about hip hop, go on YouTube, type in Black Thought Funkmaster Flex, and watch the lyrical devastation that Black Thought puts on that microphone. Black Thought had me nodding my damn head in my house. I was just over here like, ugh. You know it's good when you make that ugly face. Ugh. That boy spitting. The ugly face is the clearest indication of, yo, man, dude out here smoking his microphone. He is out here ripping this damn thing to pieces. Just, when you make that ugly face, damn. You know you were doing something. So for those of you who've never been introduced to what a freestyle looks like, go look up Black Thought from the Roots on Funkmaster Flex. If you find multiple, watch them all. Watch every one of them. You will see what a freestyle looks like. You could go Funkmaster Flex and Kendrick Lamar. Drake come in there with a BlackBerry. That's not a freestyle. You wrote that down before you walked in the door. Nobody, we don't respect that. We don't respect that. That's not respectable. So Drake can call it the tailor-made freestyle or the Duppy freestyle. Dog, you wrote it. It's not freestyle. That is not a freestyle. Freestyle is off the top of your head. Boom, 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 boom. I don't write a script for the videos that I make. I don't. I will say 98%. The other 2% is stuff that I wrote for other people. Like if I'm doing an ad, I will read your ad. If I'm getting paid a commission off of it, I will read your ad. But if it's just strictly, I got a topic I want to talk about, I don't write that down. That's all off the top of my head. I freestyle my videos. Again, that's part of hip hop culture. The other aspect of it, a lot of people didn't understand, was the personal parts of it. Because again, when Drake brought up Kendrick's fiance and his manager, that's all. That's no hold barred. Because like I said, when Pusha T did it, he was talking about Drake's ghostwriters. Drake brought up that man's wife. So, okay, you want to go there? Then let's go all the way there. Hey, ain't you hiding a kid? Let that boy come home. Whoops. And then Drake out here crying. You know what I mean? Like, he put out a picture of Drake in blackface. I can't believe he did that. Why? That's hip hop. I watched Loaded Lux bring up a casket for Calico. Took pictures from his Instagram where he was out there swimming in a lake with the inflatable ring. And it wasn't like Calico started making, let me go ahead and explain to you what happened. I was out in the sun. No. Again, that's battle rap. Hell, I watched Ty do that to what's that cat with them damn dreads? The one that was just hot a couple of months ago. Losing to this bitch. Kipiano? Like, I ain't trying to, you know, I love that. I love that freestyle. Mans went hard. But again, if you do not understand hip-hop culture, you will think that two people dissing each other and just saying the most outlandish, outrageous, effed up things about them is just bad. No, it's not. When you got Uma Thurman rooting for Drake, Uma Thurman is not hip-hop. She don't know what the hell she's talking about. Like, Uma Thurman, if Uma Thurman was really about hip-hop, she would know, hey, Drake, you're going to have to get your ass up. Get up. Get up, Drake. He would be, you know what I mean? Like, they would be petting on him like Mufasa, like Simba was with Mufasa. Get up! Get up! In hip-hop, you don't go... Hip-hop is not, I'm going to go to DJ Academics and blogs. Hip-hop is, man said something about me, I got something for him. If it's freestyle, it's freestyle. If you going in there to make a diss track, because Ice Cube wrote No Vaseline, pretty sure Tupac wrote Hit 'Em Up. So, if you're going to make a diss track, you go in there, yeah, you written, cool. You ain't got 10 people trying to diss one guy, though. You know, you bring your stuff in, he bring your stuff in, you know. And that's what I'm saying. Drake's still out here poking the bear. Bruh, you're barely, you have a periphery to hip-hop culture. You don't understand it. You think coming in making cool bullshit music, you know what I mean? Listen, exactly, Chuck. Debbie Harris from Blondie knows hip-hop better than Uma. Like, the hell are you talking about? Again, you cannot be about the culture but ask people outside the culture to fight your battle for you. This is what I'm saying. Drake should leave us alone. This should definitely be a hill Drake does not climb on again. Because Jay Prince ain't gonna be able to be there to save you. Jazz Prince ain't gonna be there to save you. Birdman's not gonna be there to save you. When you bring up somebody's wife or kids, they're gonna tear your ass apart. And no, they're not gonna come out there with a fist fight. But they're gonna make a track that's gonna reveal something about you. Hey man, what was up with you talking about that 17-year-old when you had her on stage? Oh, that's too far. No, it's not. No, it's not. There is no rules in hip-hop when you do something like that. There are dudes, if you've ever watched any battle rap, them dudes get up there and get disgustingly disrespectful. They talk about people, mama, their girl, their kids. But do you know how their opponent gets them? By coming up with better rhymes. And they diss them right back the same damn way. When Kendrick said, you take it there, I'm taking it further, that was Drake's indication to shut your silly ass up. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't start something you cannot finish. When I was a kid, raising them projects, we played the dozen. Your mama jokes was hilarious. Your mama jokes was hilarious. If you could get on somebody's personal appearance, man, we was joning. I once was on a bus coming back from a track meet, and I said a dude had a biscuit, looked like he had biscuits in the back of his head. And people were dying. He was dying. You know, your mama jokes was cool. Like, hey, your mama found a quarter, quarterback sort of thing. Your mama jokes. Some of y'all, and it's not the softness. I'm never gonna say, oh, well, this generation just saw they can't handle it. No, what I'm saying is this generation has no knowledge of the history of this. Busy B and Kool Moe Dee had a diss battle that if you go back and listen to it right now, you'd be like, wow, that was crazy. That didn't even sound like a diss. That was wild, man. That was a diss battle. Busy B, your rhymes don't split. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they hip to the hop, the hip to hibbit. You had Boogie Down Productions fighting with Juice Crew All Stars, MC Shan. The bridge is over. The bridge is over. Like, yes, and they were disrespectful. But that is hip hop. That is the nature of hip hop. Hip hop is a culture. You ever seen when two guitars do a guitar face off, like at the movie Crossroads? You remember that? It's the same thing. It's just using words. It is the exact same thing. It's only using words. It's using words. And Drake does not understand that. He's insulated from hip hop culture. He is. He really is a colonizer. Because there is no original Drake sound. There's G-Funk. There is, you start with people like DJ Premier and Dr. Dre and stuff like that, right? You start there. But it don't mean that you end there. Because if you got a microphone and you ain't doing nothing with it, there's a problem. That's the difference between a rapper, which is people like Tom McDonald on the periphery of hip hop, and an MC. You can spell it MC, MC, you know what I mean? Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. Aaron Showtime Taylor in the house. I want y'all to know Aaron Showtime Taylor's story is something you absolutely, positively, 100% need to go look at. Look him up. His story is unique. His story is just incredible. One of the greatest inspirational stories I've ever heard. But it's true. If you got a ghostwriter, you're not battle rapping. Your diss tracks are ass because you needed a ghostwriter to do it. If you need a ghostwriter to help you write a diss, like, come on, man. Like, no, absolutely not. And this is my problem. Drake needs to leave this alone. You have made a lot of money off of hip hop. You have sold out stadiums. You've had #1 hits. You got Billboard awards and stuff like that. Stay in that lane. Stay over there. The gangster talk, don't nobody believe you. Yeah, your bodyguards might whoop somebody's ass, but you ain't throwing a punch. You ain't gonna bust a grape in a fruit fight. I don't know why you keep trying to. If you don't get your fake ass gangster, wannabe gangster ass on some damn where, if you don't get the hell on, my niece is tougher than you. My niece will beat your ass. Stop. Okay? Keep making, like Kendrick said, keep making me dance, wave my hands, and it won't be no stress. But when it comes to elite MCs, shut up. Say nothing. Keep your mouth closed. Don't talk about them. Do not talk about them. Don't try to get into a diss battle with an MC. Because there are some MCs out there that will tear your damn hat off. Like if Drake ever dissed Black Thought, it would be the end of Drake. Black Thought wouldn't even need to write. He would just go, give me the microphone. Is it live? And would go in on him for 5 minutes and there would be no more Drake. Except for like white suburban fans. Like, I don't know why Drake doesn't make hip hop music anymore. It'd be have y'all heard One Gwan Delilah? That would be the Drake. And that's the thing. Kendrick is an MC. Pusha T is an MC. Drake is a rapper. Drake, you have a lane. Stay in it. Stop dissing. Stop sneak dissing. Stop subliminal dissing. Do the music that makes you the money and gets you the hot girlies. Be certified lover boy. Stop trying to be gangsta Drake before somebody lyrically, and I don't mean physically, because again, Tupac and Biggie, but if somebody lyrically strips your ass, buck ass for parts, they're going to have your ass out here walking like Cersei in Game of Thrones when she did her walk of shame. Ching, ching, ching. Shame. Shame. Ching, ching. Shame. Shame. Ching. Drake, you have a lane. Stay in it. But yeah, we almost done with this morning, y'all. Yeah, we our politics are messy right now, but y'all know what y'all supposed to do. A lot of y'all know what the assignment is. A lot of y'all know what the assignment is. You know what I mean? Like, you understand what's at stake. This is not something that has to be told to you like you're a child. You know what is at stake. You know what you have to do. Joe Biden gave 50 years of his life in service of this country. And whether I agree with everything that he did, and I did not, I still have to respect that. It's the same thing I said about John McCain. I don't have to agree with anything John McCain stood for, but John McCain was a veteran. John McCain was a prisoner of war, and he will always have my utmost respect simply for that. But y'all know what the assignment is. Y'all know what's at stake. The Trojan horse of Donald Trump is filled with Project 2025 that wants to take us back to a time where the only voices that matter were white men voices. You know what the assignment is. Study. Get your asses into the books and study what is at stake. Do research on the elected officials that you were thinking about voting for and the people they are against. Stop being lazy about your democracy. It is yours, damn it. You need to work on it, work for it, and continue to work for it. Democracy dies from apathy. My biggest problem in America right now is the apathetic nature of Americans. I'm sick of it. You know what the assignment is. You understand what the assignment is. You know what you have to do. I said before, I am not voting for the Democratic Party. I am not voting against the Republican Party. I have one opponent. I am voting against Project 2025. I am voting against the Heritage Foundation. I am voting against these people taking the country to some Christo-fascist state. I'm not doing it. I am not doing it. I am voting against Project 2025, and I hope you do too. This has been The Sound of Coffee. My name is Thomas Bishop. This show is brought to you in part by Glitter Wicks. Go over to glitterwicks.com, pick up the hottest, freshest candle scent on these streets. It is called Villainous. It is inspired by yours truly, Thomas the Villain Bishop. Also, if you like what I do here, please support me at patreon.com/Thomas the Villain Bishop. I'm actually working with my manager to start getting more merch and perks over there at patreon.com/Thomas the Villain Bishop. If you want to just holler at your boy, give me a couple of bucks to get me a cup of coffee, my Cash App is Mr. Bishop 3687. That is M, capital M, Mr. capital B, Bishop 3687. I love you guys. I want you guys to be safe. I want you to fight for the democracy that you have. This is your country. Whether you are black, brown, whether you are native and indigenous, whether you are a member of the LGBTQIA+, whether you are a white woman looking for your privacy, whether you are a black woman that saves democracy over and over and over again, whether you are a black man who is out here fighting his ass off to make sure him, his wife, his woman, or whatever have a decent life with a decent wage, I stand with you. Our democracy is at stake, ladies and gentlemen. You know what the assignment is. Don't be stupid. Study. Look at the opponents and act accordingly. May your day be as sweet as the coffee in your cup. This has been The Sound of Coffee. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.